Hi, and welcome to
Coffee, glasses, and a ponytail. Yeah, so next week we'll finish up, or in 2 weeks we'll finish up the book. We didn't do last week because Molly was a little bit under the weather. So we took the week off. And then we will, the week following that, or maybe next week, I don't know which one we'll do, if we're going to talk about what book or thing we're going to do next, or if we'll just do the end of the book and then the following time talk about what book we're going to do next or whatever. So, you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
I was ready like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, were you? I think you were making your coffee
Took you forever to make
like
your
5
coffee.
minutes ago. Pretty sure.
I was ready 5 minutes ago.
That's probably more accurate, 5 minutes ago.
That's what I meant.
Well, all right. So, chapter 46, Awoken in the Dead of Night.
It's just woken in the dead of night.
I probably misspelled it, but it might be woken. Maybe they're all about social justice warriors. Maybe they're woken in the dark, in the night, in the dead of night.
Be quiet. Just
All right.
write your notes down.
So Fenoglio is in the prison cell with
I hate him. He's
Meggie.
annoying.
How dare you?
He is.
He saves the day.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Meggie could have done it.
But she didn't.
But she could have.
He wakes up Meggie to tell her that, I finished with my writing that I've been writing. And it's not really a
Do
solution.
you want a medal?
It's just a plan for testing out a theory he has. So he's written, I don't know, a couple of pages about that he wants you to read out loud to bring a tin soldier in from, is it tin soldier from?
From the story.
It's from a story, okay.
Yeah.
And it works. Did anything from our world leave, though? Because it seems like there's always a trade-off, and they didn't really say, or did they? I don't remember. But I don't think...
I don't remember.
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. They've already got the tin...
Oh, she asked for it back, and then when she was asking
Right.
for that, she's supposed to ask for paper for Fenoglio.
Right, and that's where we're at. So this was to see if they could send the tin soldier back.
Yeah.
And it worked. So then my question would be, shouldn't something have come... Because there's always a trade. There's always a swap.
Yeah.
But nothing came back. Nothing came from our world, this world to our... I mean, nothing came from that world to our world. The tin soldier just went back. So I was a little confused by that. He did, though, tell Meggie, unlike her father and Dustfinger and everybody else in the world, he did tell her plan for what he wants to do with Capricorn, finally. So my question I have here is, did you think his plan to change what the shadow does would work? That they could make up a whole new story? Because it seems like...
Like when I was reading it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in most books, the good guy always wins, so I must figured just like, that he would.
Right, but it just seems like, again, this goes back to what we talked about, like in the very beginning, where if Dustfinger is here, then does the story that Dustfinger was in change?
It changes, yeah.
So if the shadow comes here and then Fenoglio changes the story, does the story that he was originally in change? And so would that have like a ripple effect through the rest of... It seems like to be consistent, you'd have to then...
Well, in the trilogy, the shadow is never like mentioned again.
Okay, all right.
Spoilers.
But this is where I started to like Meggie more, because at the end of the chapter, she basically says, make the shadow kill them all. Like, kill them all. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of being in prison, my dad being, threatened to be killed. And so if you bring this shadow, I want you to make sure that it kills Capricorn. And then she asked, I think, a pretty good question is, what if the shadow just doesn't do what you write? What if you get him here? Because it seems like once you get here, you have kind of a free will.
Yeah.
Like, Dustfinger kind of does whatever he wants. So there's nothing that would for sure make the shadow do what they wanted him to do. I don't think
there would be.
I don't think he answers the question, but
Go to sleep, little girl.
I think it was a good question to ask. So,
do you wish that I would just go to sleep sometimes?
when it's late and I'm tired, yeah. Yeah.
Never.
Yes, I do. Chapter 47.
True love.
Alone. So Elinor hears shots, and this was, I don't understand this chapter at all. So apparently, Mo and Dustfinger and Farid have left Elinor all by herself.
Yeah.
In what world does this happen? She has no gun. She's
Will.
an old lady, kind of an overweight old lady. Well, just left her. Just, hey, we're going to go off. I know there's a village just over there that's full of dangerous people that are looking for us. But it'll be okay, trust me. So she hears shots in the middle of the night and assumes that Mo is either dead or wounded. Mm-hmm. But I don't remember when he left. I know Fenoglio, I know that Farid left.
He went with Farid the second time.
Did they go together? Okay. Because I didn't realize that. But yeah, I don't. Why couldn't she go? Because they didn't really do anything. They just kind of go to stake out this.
Like scouting out.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So it was just weird to me that they left her. And then then she wanders into town. So they told her to stay, probably. And then she hears the shots, and then she goes into town anyway. And somehow Mo finds her, puts her hand out, the old movie thing when it comes up behind her. No, don't yell. And then they all go back to camp, and the plan seems to be we're going to start a fire. And one thing I've never understood about this book either, and maybe I'm just missing something. Fire seems to be this magical thing that they don't quite ever. It's like, oh, we're going to start fires, but be careful of the fire because it could. They're always.
Because fire is really hard to contain.
Yeah, but fire's been around fire's been around for thousands of years. There's just a feeling in this book that the people that have fire, like Dustfinger, can start fires. Like it's this magical, maybe from where he came from. I don't know, but here it seems it's just fire. I don't understand what the big secret.
Where they all came from, it's like this super.
Yeah, but they're not there anymore. And well, I mean, Mo seems to think it's a big deal too. Of be careful of we're done with the fire. To me, I don't care if the whole city burns down. It's full of criminals.
That's true.
So that's what their plan is. They're going to go back and start a fire. And then we get to chapter 48, which is Magpie or Mortola, Capricorn's mom. She seems like a sweet lady. So they're still in the cell. Meggie and Fenoglio are still in the cell. He's, I guess, writing now what he thinks will work for the shadow.
Yeah.
Then Basta comes in to tell Meggie that the mom, Mortella, wants to talk to her. And then if I want to scare a little girl who's concerned for her dad and I want to make her do what I want her to do, I don't understand why Basta just didn't say, yeah, we shot and killed your dad last night and we'll do the same to you if you don't. But she asks him, did you kill my dad? And he's like, yeah, nah, he's not dead. It just seems weird. It just seemed like an odd, especially for a guy he has no redeeming quality. I mean, it's not
Well, I mean, if he's superstitious, he thinks that if he tells a lie, karma might come back and bite him.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. So then they get to Martella's room. It seems like a pretty creepy room. She has has gout. It seems like in her legs, whatever, they're swelled up. She has something wrong. She can't walk very well. And the book, Inkheart, is hidden in a chest. Or is it a coffin? It's a coffin. I think it's a coffin. With had snakes in it. So, then she makes Bast hold the snakes, which I thought was hilarious because he does not like, he doesn't like them.
Sensible man.
But I didn't understand. It seems like that Meggie let out, while Basta was in the room, that Mortella was Capricorn's mom.
Yeah.
Why was that a secret?
I don't know.
Because she was clearly upset that Meggie said that. Mm-hmm. And then she told Basta, you don't tell anybody this or you'll be in deep doo-doo. Mm-hmm. But I didn't understand why it was a secret.
I don't know.
Yeah. So Maggie's taken to see Dustfinger in the crypt, so they head back downstairs after the meeting with the mom.
Yeah.
And apparently now she believes that Russa is her mother. What changed?
It's Risa.
Well, whatever. But what?
She always thought that she was her mom. The moment that she saw her face.
Yeah. I don't know. It just...
Yeah. I don't know.
So, Dustfinger passes Meggie a note, and Basta sees it, and he's like, "Oh, give me the note. I'll hurt you if you don't." So, the final confirmation I was wrong, evidently, about the whole mother-daughter thing is, and you were right about the 9 years ago, which the time still doesn't really make sense to me, but whatever. Is a quote, 9 long years ago, I celebrated all your birthdays. This is the note that Basta gave, that Russa gave to Dustfinger, and Dustfinger gave to Meggie. And then 9 years are a long time. I celebrated all your birthdays. You're even lovelier than I imagined you to be. Then Basta threatens to kill Meggie by putting a knife to her throat.
But you know he wouldn't.
I mean, I don't know that he wouldn't. He doesn't.
He wouldn't, because then you.
Because she has to read the thing tonight. Yeah.
And then, it's not like Mo would go back if his daughter died, because like she'd be dead. There's no point going back.
Yeah.
So then have to track him down again.
Yeah. Then somehow Dustfinger gets the knife from Basta. They kind of wrestle around. He gets it. Mm-hmm. But he can't kill himself to bring Basta, which I don't understand. This guy's kind of tormented him, seemingly like.
Wait, he what?
Dustfinger can't kill Basta. He has the knife.
Yeah.
And he wants to kill him, but he can't kill him. I don't understand why he can't kill him.
I don't know how you could do that and have a clear conscience, though.
Well, he just threatened to kill a little girl. I could.
Well, he wouldn't do it.
Well, would he only not do it because he would get in trouble, or would he not do it? I mean, I think if Meggie wasn't supposed to read the story, I think he might have done it. So, but instead of that, he locks Basta in the cell, and then Dustfinger, true character, great stand-up guy, he leaves Russa and Meggie and leaves, I guess, to go get the book again.
Oh.
But he leaves them behind.
He doesn't leave them in the cell, though.
No, but he leaves them captured because Flatnose, because they heard all the yelling. Flatnose and the cronies come down, and so Dustfinger just leaves them prisoners again. But Flatnose does turn on Basta. He's finally had enough, and he like mocks him and makes fun of him because he's in a prison cell now. So that was fun.
They don't let him out till like the execution day or something, if I remember. Or when did they let him out? I don't think
that seems right.
Chapter.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, it's not in any of these chapters, I don't think.
The weird thing to me about this book is that this all takes place in like a week.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to take very long. Yeah.
It's like
so
people are like expert planners.
Yeah. Yeah. Next chapter, there's nothing.
It's not really a lot of
really goes on
action.
here. Elinor goes to the cops like she expects them to do something. Turns out the cops are in the back pocket of Capricorn, so they're not going to do anything. And she's surprised, evidently, but she gets put in the cell with Russa. Yeah, shocking. What, you're not going to do anything?
Home Alone. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. So, nothing much gets done there. Then, again, this is kind of another throwaway chapter. We have Farid and Mo are almost discovered, but then find a place to hide. And then that's all that's like 4 pages. Yeah. They're sneaking around. They almost get discovered. Oh, let's hide behind a wall. Oh, they walked by. Okay, we're safe. And that was the chapter. I didn't those 2 chapters I could have just left out. They didn't really add anything.
Yeah. They probably wanted to make the book longer.
Yeah, I mean, I think nobody was surprised that the police didn't help.
No.
And I don't think we needed to know that
They didn't help.
they didn't help, or that Fareed and Mo hid well. Good job at hide and seek, guys. It was a little odd that the author included those chapters. The next chapter, a fragile little thing. Dustfinger now, instead of leaving the village after he escapes from the crypt or the jail or whatever, he goes to hide in Basta's house. And this might be kind of a throwaway chapter too. He finds the fairy there, and she's sick, so he gives her like warm milk, like a cat. I thought that was funny. Gives her milk. Basically, they look out the window and are kind of watching things. And he tells her that the world outside is too dangerous for her to be out in, so he's not going to let her out. And my question to that was, is it more dangerous than living with Basta? I mean, I think the world outside, she could probably find a place to stay that, wouldn't threaten to kill her every time. So that was that chapter. To kind of, I think we're just kind of putting people in the spots they're supposed to be for the finale of the book. So I think that's kind of what all this is. Then nightfall's approaching, and Fenoglio has completed his idea. He's written it down, but he's not quite happy with it. And I said, I really liked what Meggie says here when Fenoglio seems to be squishy. Because he's like, well, I don't know if I like the ending. I don't know if I'm being nice enough. Or he's scared to kill people and this and that. And she says the shadow has to kill everyone. I like that again. She's like, no, these people are jerks. They're threatening people. They've taken over a village and basically claimed it for themselves. They've got dirty cops. There's nothing redeemable about them. So I thought that was pretty. Do you have anything to say about Fenoglio? Yeah, I mean, I first liked Fenoglio, and now I think, like you said, he's kind of turned into a character. You're kind of like, dude, get a backbone. And she's kind of finally being the adult in the room, being like, no, these people need to pay. So
yeah. In the later books, he's like a total jerk.
Fenoglio? He's in more. I didn't know he was in more of the books.
No, he's in all of them. Yeah.
Oh.
I think.
Does he
Maybe
swear?
It's just the first two.
Is he, because he doesn't swear? Is that why you don't like him? He's not as cool.
He swears.
He does. Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ferret actually swears the most.
Foreigners.
No.
Maybe he doesn't know the swear words. Maybe he's just saying things he's heard. I was like, I don't know. I heard it somewhere.
Dustfinger is my influence. Don't judge me.
Don't judge me. Right then, 6 o'clock in the evening, his work is done, and Mortella comes to get Meggie. I believe she gives her like a white dress.
Yeah.
And a little like bride-ish, like a little too, like we're preparing the bride for her, sacrifice. It just seems a little too weird. But then they had wanted to fold up the piece of paper so she could stuff it in a sleeve so she would have a place to pull it out of when she was going to read it. And with the white dress, they were kind of freaking out. Did it say what the plan was now? Because she didn't put it in her sleeve, did she?
Did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I guess they figured out a way to get it in the sleeve. Because they were freaking out about that. But yeah, I thought the white dress was a little weird.
Yeah.
But it seems like the plan is coming together. We have
21.
21.
21.
We have now Fareed and Mo have set fire to Capricorn's house.
Oh.
And again, it always, I mentioned it earlier, but I wrote it down here that the fire in this book seems to be like overly mysterious. Like, I mean, people have light. We have planes, we have automobiles, we have cars, but fire seems to be this magical. It's very weird.
Because it is. In their world, it is.
I love fire. I like starting fires safely, not on people's houses or whatever, but safely in the appropriate places where fire should be. You like it too?
Yeah, I do.
Fire's fun. It's very exciting. Under correct adult supervision.
Oh.
If you're underage. Disclaimer.
I lit a candle in my room one time.
Thought it was jingle for a minute.
I lit a candle in my room one time, and it got kind of weird because I took a pen and I held it over the fire, and I was home alone. So, but I held it over the fire, and it started melting. And my room smelled really bad.
Yeah. When was this?
Like 2 years ago.
Yeah. Yesterday. Yeah.
Nowhere.
Interesting. Were you scared?
No.
No.
It just smelled really bad.
No. I didn't think. Thought you were going to get in trouble, or if the fire was going to spread.
No.
What would you have done if you tipped it over or something?
Cry a lot.
Hoping your tears are going to put it out.
Yeah.
All right. Should be punished later.
What?
What? No, nothing.
No.
And then chapter 55, treachery, loose talk, and stupidity. So Elinor, Ressa, and
words.
Basta are presented to everyone gathered for the execution. So they come up from the crypt. They're presented. I don't remember if they were in chains or if they were still in their cages.
I think they were in cages.
I don't remember. Okay. And it seemed like almost like an arena. Like they brought them up into like an open space, like so everybody in the crowd could see which is, again, how depraved do all these people have to be like, yeah, this is 21st century. Let's do public executions. This would be sweet. We're totally cool with that. And I don't know how the shadow thing kills people, but
I don't know. Did it really say?
I don't think so. I don't know if it like sucked their souls out or.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember. Capricorn kind of mentions. I think somebody comes over and whispers, like, "Hey man, there's a fire," and he's like, "Pay no attention to the burning buildings. It's over there. We're gonna execute people. It's gonna be fun."
Yay!
Yeah.
I've always wanted to see a public execution.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Raised you well.
Raised me
No.
What?
So then Capricorn brings out like some bloody clothing as evidence that they've killed Mo and I think Dustfinger because they both kind of escaped and were so. He says that they're dead. Elinor doesn't believe him. I think she thinks it's like red paint. Mm-hmm. Is she closer or she just doesn't believe him?
She just doesn't believe him.
Okay.
Or she's like
because she saw Mo like
she did?
well yeah. Remember she's stuck into the town and Mo found her and yeah.
Okay,
so she knows that at least Mo's not dead. So
don't know where that coward went.
but Ressa and Meggie.
I think it's funny how they call him Dirty Fingers. Dustfinger. Call him Dirty Fingers.
Yeah. Well, I guess if you're dusty, you'd be dirty. I can see the connection. But Ressa and Meggie think that he is dead because I think they've heard the gunshots.
Pew pew.
But I don't know that would. I mean, I guess even inept people can kill somebody. I mean, just because somebody isn't very good at something doesn't mean they can't be good at something one time. So, I guess maybe you could think that they had died. So it was just kind of this week was putting people in, I think, places.
Yeah.
Getting them ready for the finale. I think next week we'll
Execution.
get to Meggie starting to read and see the consequences of that. And,
yeah. Are we doing the sneak peek of
the preview for the next? We can talk about and if you want to, we can. If we want to do the next couple of books, we can talk about doing those. Or if we don't do those, you can tell them kind of a little synopsis of what happens in the rest of them if you want to. But yeah, so we'll for sure finish up our discussion on the book next week, and then we'll figure out what to do from there. We thought about there's a couple Brandon Sanderson series. Well, one of them is the Arithmetist. It's kind of a standalone novel. We're gonna maybe look at. The other one is his young adult series. I don't remember what it was called.
I don't know.
But it's basically superheroes people thought were good are actually bad, and a group of normal people rise up to kind of fight him or whatever, something like that. Mm-hmm. Seems kind of interesting. Or again, I think you wanted to maybe do the Sweet Tooth miniseries on Netflix.
Yeah.
And at some point we will do the Hunger Games because you have to read it for school, and I've always wanted to read it. I like the
You
movies.
haven't read it?
I haven't read it, no.
Oh, I thought you did.
No. Cohen has read it. He liked it a lot. He read the whole series in
Oh, no.
a week and a half. I mean, it was quick. Yeah. So he liked it a lot, and so we'll probably read the book, maybe watch the movie if you want, or if you don't want to, we don't have to. But at some point we will be doing that.
Okay.
Anything else for this week?
I don't think so.
No? All right, well, I guess that's it for this week. Hit those noties, subscribe, and thanks for watching. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Okay, actually, this really important question. This group chat that I'm in is kind of having this giant debate over whether cornhole is called cornhole or bags. I am on Team Cornhole. What team are you on?
I'm Bags. I always knew it as Bags.
Gosh. Don't listen to him. He's gone. I'm Team Cornhole, and everybody who watches this should also be Team Cornhole because you don't want to be like him. So,
What
yeah.
cool and awesome. Okay, yes, it is email if you want to write us, ask a question, suggestions of what to do, what you like, what you don't like, just all the things. We don't have comments on YouTube, so this is the only way to really kind of get a hold of us, because I don't want to be an admin and monitor all the comments because I have a life. And we'll read through them, and we appreciate it. Thanks a lot. See you next time.